audio related to a factory on Brighton Hove Division which makes a component part for precision bomb, and they supply the British and some of the European armed forces. The parent company is an American company who supply to Israel. So the company had been subject to protest, targeted attacks, which were getting bigger and bigger. The demonstrations, which culminated on a major demonstration on the 4th of June 2008, it was now, which resulted in massive disorder. Police officers were injured, they breached the factory, there was criminal damage, and the decision was made was enough is enough and we need to get a grip of the situation. Before we put the operation together, people were getting arrested ad hoc, and then because they were quite clever, they would challenge us on disclosure. And of course, we hadn't collected all the material, so we would end up losing the court case. They would then sue us for unlawful arrest, and we would be paying them out. So Sussex Police were funding the Smash EDO campaign, and by the time we wound it up, we convicted 53, a number of the main ringleaders, and basically disbanded the whole organisation. So though there is still minor demonstrations at the factory, they're all peaceful, nothing on the scale that we ever had before, and since 2010 we've not had major disorder at the factory. So when we put the operation together, we collated all this material, so when they put the claims in 6 or 7 months later, we were able to rebut it. So actually that's not the case. So they estimated it was between £100,000 and £150,000 we saved in civil claims just by carrying out the operation. The thing is about being a detective. When I became a detective many years ago, I equate it to being like a master craftsman. So when you become a trainee detective, you're like doing your apprenticeship. Now my detective sergeant was a very, very experienced detective, as was my detective inspector. And for me, the amount of learning I gained from doing my apprenticeship with them, because you go on your CID training or your courses, and those courses give you tools. But like any craftsman, the only way you become adept at using those tools is through practice and through guidance from somebody who's mentoring you, i.e. the master craftsman who was my DS. And that takes time, and after a while and after a lot of experience you learn which tool to use, and you become more adept, and then you build up your experience and you become a craftsman. And then if you do it long enough, you may become a master craftsman, which I always aspired to be with my DS. So he mentored me and gave me all the wealth of his experience to help me use those tools that I've been given. What I've tried to do is for my staff coming through, what was done for me is that, make time, because I know how grateful I was when I was learning, when everything was new, thinking, oh, yeah, well, I've got the law book in front of me, but I'm not sure how this applies. Is so that I can sit there and say, well, I've done this before, so this is how I would do it. And for me, it's just remembering what was done for me and doing it for my staff, because that's the only way you're actually going to develop your great detectives of the future. Because no matter what they say, you can't become a detective overnight.